Well, we definitely have a very cold situation developing here the next 6 to 10 days across Michigan, across the Great Lakes. Cold, and so we will check that out. First, let's deal with the storm system today. And it's not a bad storm system. It's what I call a nuisance storm for Election Day. Not super terrible. There's two rain patterns basically across Michigan right now. A solid rain. Oh, excuse me. I gotta sneeze. A solid rain across northern lower into the eastern UP, and then more spotty showers across southern lower. But you can see where the pivot point is here, okay? And with the pivot point here, it means that the cooler air is already starting to blow into the southern half of lower Michigan, and we've already had our high temperatures for the day. Here's the radar forecast, and we'll go through 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock this morning. So basically what you're seeing is up in northern Michigan and eastern UP, you've got the solid rain pushing into your area. Southern lower, it's spurts of rain that will be pretty vigorous at times, and probably even some sort of lake effect component to the rain in southwest lower, Grand Rapids and Muskegon, and along the shoreline there in Holland. And that could bring you more rain than not rain through the day today. Now we're into 3 o'clock this afternoon. Good morning, Jessica Shepard. We're into 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock this afternoon. One good thing, I guess, for Election Day is it's all rain today. The snow won't start to mix in until you get to very late tonight, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, and that's only in the UP. And again, just spotty showers across southern lower Michigan. So it's off and on rain all day long today. Now, we've had our high temperatures, like I said, and watch the temperature forecast over the next several hours. Detroit goes from 53 down to 50. A lot of the southern cities go down to 48. Grand Rapids down to 46. And as we go through the afternoon, continues to go down a degree every couple of hours. So it's not a huge plunge. Good morning from Ray in Adrian, Raymond Abraham. So it's not a huge plunge of cold air, but it just slowly drifts down overnight tonight, and you can see the cold building in the west. Really, the cold isn't going to settle into the area until Thursday, Friday, and really hit the area next week. Okay, so here's our computer model that goes out farther into the future. I talked about, we'll look at deer opening day of deer season. James wants to know, good morning, Mark. Will the snow stick by Friday? Yes, it will. And it'll have a tough time sticking because the ground is still warm, but the ground will cool off pretty quickly. Okay, so here we go. We're into tomorrow now. Tomorrow midday. And this is a recipe for cold weather. A low pressure center up here, circulating around. Okay. Good morning, Wayne Lynch and Barbara Zabitz. So here's the cold air, some lake effect snow, southern lower, just kind of cold and dry. Thursday, cold conditions again. And focus your attention now on this line right here. That's a rain snow line, and this is definitely a snow line, okay? So lower Michigan is solidly into temperatures that would produce snow. And then watch back here. I've been watching this for 2 days. There's a wave of moisture coming from the southwest. So we're going to actually get into an accumulating snow, widespread across Michigan. Light compared to the middle of winter snowstorms, but it's the first one. This is Friday morning. Look at the temperatures. Cold enough for snow north and west of Detroit, all through lower Michigan. Moisture feeding up. All models are showing this Friday morning, Friday afternoon. Low pressure center. This is the track that we watch for accumulating widespread snow across lower Michigan. Now, middle of the day, early November, that will help it act somewhat like rain. Hey, honeymooning in Frank and Manistee, thinking about heading to Frankfurt. Yeah, check out Storm Cloud Brewery. Okay, now we're into Friday evening, and the storm moves off, and this model wants to show another Alberta clipper coming through on the weekend. The European model doesn't show exactly that, but it does. But both of them do show that as we get to Tuesday of next week, the storm comes up to here, and in comes the floodgates of heavy, heavy cold. Even look at our models now, how they can resolve these mesoscale lake-induced vortices. The cold air hits the warm water of Lake Michigan, and on a north wind, it makes this spin, and that is a little enhanced snowstorm that oftentimes comes down Lake Michigan. That's early next week. When you look at something like this, that just says winter. Storm over here, and look at our flow coming straight from Canada, cyclonic flow around the storm center. That just says, wow, winter. That's November 14th, and we'll look at opening day. This is sunrise on opening day of firearm deer season. And, you know, the wind is backed off, but we're still cold. We've probably had several days of off and on lake effect snow. It's going to be a colder opening day versus a warmer opening day. 6 to 10 day forecast. Yeah, the blue is so dark. The blue is so dark that you can hardly see the map. And that is for November 11th to 15th. Colder than normal, obviously. I just showed you that. 8 to 14 day forecast. That's for November 13th to 19th. And that's still colder than normal. And really no flip-flop to warmer than normal in sight just yet. So what you have today, southern lower, off and on showers, slowly cooler temperatures. Northern lower, eastern UP, you got a big soaking rain of cool, wet rain. Then it's gradually cooler over the next several days. Friday could be an accumulating snow widespread across the state. Roads may stay warm, but they might be cold enough too. So watch, Friday could be our first snow driving situation, and you know how that is, and put it on a Friday too. And I'm talking maybe 1-2 inches in the southern half of lower, southeast half, maybe 2, 3, 4 inches in the colder spots in the north. Then in comes the floodgates of the cold air, and by middle of next week, it will feel pretty much like late December with highs in the 20s to 30 degrees and lows 15 to 20 degrees. And that's with wind and precipitation. So that's actually a full-blown cold spell. Sally says, heading to Florida. You picked a good time. And yeah, hunting, this is going to be a lot different situation than some of the opening days we've had where it's been 50s and hunters complain that it's just too warm. Well, there's your morning weather update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. I'll leave you now, but we'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks for joining me.